Meeting is to talk about the annexation of the Ruddy Creek project. I'm Tom Lando, an administrative consultant for the city. Bill Lagrone, city administrator. Wes Irvin, our planner. Connor Musler, I'm going to get it wrong, Connor, I'm sorry. Planning intern. I saw Matt. Where did Matt go? Matt Thompson, our engineer, stepped in and out. And Dawn Nevers is the Assistant Community Development Director. Tonight, we're just here to provide information regarding the annexation. The property owners have applied for the annexation. Specific questions about the subdivision itself, the Planning Commission is scheduled to meet on the 24th to discuss the annexation. That's the appropriate time to talk about design details. My experience is people are always concerned about how it relates to the adjoining property, two-story, one-story type of fence. Those all are issues for the Planning Commission. Tonight, we're simply providing information regarding the development and the annexation process. And with that, oh, one more thing. I'm sure we have a huge audience in the computer land, but the meeting's available through Microsoft Teams as well. I actually expected, but not here, Steve Lucas from the Local Agency Formation Commission. They're the group that ultimately decides whether the property can annex into the city. In this case, the property is contiguous to the city, meets state law requirements, so that, frankly, annexation is 99% likely to occur. Again, we just wanted to give you an opportunity to hear about annexation, to hear about the development. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Wes.
So I'm assuming that everyone that's here has some basic understanding of the project and what's proposed. I'll go over it very quickly here, and then we'll open it up for comments and questions. Next slide, Connor. The owner, Chuck LaFlamme, who's here, has requested annexation into the city of this 24-acre, 2 parcels of vacant land that he has, and he's owned it for many, many years. And this is just a meeting to gather public comment. Next. This is the 3rd iteration, I understand, of a project that has been approved at this location. The first one was a mobile home park many, many years ago. The second one was a 172 home subdivision approved by the City Council in 2007. The annexation did not complete at the time, and due to the recession, the project did not proceed. The map with the 172 approved homes expired, and so now Chuck is coming in requesting 97 homes on larger lots. And these lots are, there's the site. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. Next. They're proposed for R1 zoning. The lots would average 6,000 square feet each. That matches the Cayo Vista subdivision next across 18th Street, with the smallest lot there is 6,000 square feet. And the largest lot there happens to be 12,000 square feet. The low land down the hill by Ruddy Creek would not be developed except with a 1.1 acre detention basin and a parkland dedication, which is a requirement of the subdivision.
That's what I was saying. R1 is planner talk for single-family housing.
Thank you for translating. Okay. This is one of the site plans that we have received. This is the one that was in the mitigated negative declaration that we circulated, and this shows 2 entrances, one off of Marjorie Street and one off of Norma coming in from the south. So if anyone lives in the adjacent subdivision, this is one option, is to have both of those roads extended through into the subdivision. And they both now just terminate. So it's clear that eventually those roads were intended to be punched through. There is a second option for the site plan, which has one entrance off of Norma only, and the one on Marjorie is not extended through. Applicant has not yet determined which one. We are in discussions with the Thermalito Water and Sewer Agency and with the city engineer in order to complete an analysis of that to see which is more appropriate. There are hard copies of both of those proposals, both of those versions over here on this counter. Next slide. Next slide. So some of the features of the project, the water and sewer would be connected with Thermalito Water and Sewer District, just exactly like all the other homes around. The roads would have sidewalks, curb, and gutter, and the configuration there would match across 18th Street, the Cayo Vista subdivision. The fencing would be wood fencing. We've had questions about what the fencing material would be, and that would match the fencing that exists around the area and throughout Thermalito. All runoff would be directed to the detention pond via some runoff ditches and such, and then to Ruddy Creek. And then the new owners would be joining the same assessment districts that already exist with those that are within the city limits. One of the questions we have received is about traffic and congestion. We spent a lot of time analyzing the traffic, especially as you go down 18th and approach Highway 162. The 2007 project discussed this to a great extent and suggested creating turn lanes at both 18th and 20th and Larkin, and those have actually happened. In fact, the latest configuration of the brand new paving and lane markings there are exactly that. The traffic impacts were not considered significant for the 172 subdivision. There was a very detailed traffic analysis for that. So since then, the traffic has been considered for the general plan. This project was included in the general plan, and this project was included in a supplemental EIR for the general plan. And given that it's half the traffic impacts from before, the mitigated negative declaration considers that traffic is not a significant impact. Just as an example, and then you're all free to comment on that, of course. Just as an example, the Caltrans traffic average
Daily traffic,
AADT, average annual daily traffic, something like that.
or is it just ADT, average daily traffic? Anyhow, it is. Okay.
Annual average is 3,000 vehicles each way. This compares to 30,000 vehicles that go along Oro Dam Boulevard on the other side of Highway 70. And the highway has essentially the same configuration with a suicide lane and such. I've already mentioned the two streets are one. That's an option that has not yet been determined. And in the mitigated negative declaration, the floodplain, the parkland dedication would be about 1.5 acres for a project this size or a fee. The oak tree mitigation has been measured to be there are 50, let me get this, 58 trees of 6 inches or larger diameter breast height, and that's some 670 inches. And our Oakland mitigation requirement is that 2 inches gets planted somewhere for every inch of large oak tree that is taken out. So that's 1,344 inches of trees that would have to be replaced. The count of trees, if they're all 6-inch trees, that's a couple hundred trees. If they're 2-inch trees, that's 600 trees. So it'll be up to the applicant to figure out how to mitigate the loss of oak trees.
So I'm sure you're all excited about this, but again, a lot of planeries. Every project in California is required to go through environmental review to see if there's a significant impact on the environment. In this case, those impacts, as Wes has indicated, can be mitigated or eliminated, hence mitigated negative declaration, just saying that there is no significant impact that can't be avoided, hence the mitigated negative declaration.
Good, thank you. Construction and noise will be handled through mitigation measures. There are no significant plant or animal species to mitigate, and if any cultural resources are found, work would stop until those would be assessed. Public comments are welcome. We've received 8 or 10 so far and anticipate more, all of which will be cataloged, and we'll make sure that the analysis either covers those or they'll be responded to directly.
And I guess I want to be clear that, again, the time those will really be considered is at the Planning Commission meeting. This is information regarding the annexation, which is bringing a piece of land into the city. In terms of the specifics of development, if you're concerned about it, email, phone, letter, or show up in person on the 24th to the commission meeting, because that's when those details will really be discussed.
So the next steps, several approvals are required to make this project complete. The tentative subdivision map, which is there for your review, a general plan amendment. This property is pre-zoned by the city as medium-high density, and the applicant wants to lower the density, so we have to have a general plan amendment to a medium-low density. That's another planerese.
Which means fewer homes is what it means.
And then the annexation process that has to be completed. The city council, after the planning commission would be making recommendations to the city council. The city council would then decide on the project on October 20th or thereabouts.
And again, the Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO, it's a beast in California, it's not found elsewhere. They're the ones, their board actually is the one that determines whether the annexation proceeds. And if you want to, we can give you the contact information or look at Butte LAFCO, LAFCO. And Steve Lucas there is the executive director, and he can take you through the whole process. And I'd be happy to repeat that if anybody needs that information.
And then open for
questions.
Yeah.
Again, information meeting, the meat of it for people who are concerned about it really will occur at the Planning Commission on the 24th. This is just to let people know we're here and what the project looks like. I don't know if anybody has any additional questions. Yes?
Are these traditional homes? Value homes, or are these low-income housing?
My understanding, I can be corrected, is these are market rate houses. Any other questions, comments? Again, if you're concerned, email, show up on the 24th. That's going to be more significant than, as you see, we're staff. The Planning Commission is appointed citizens who will hear your concerns and make recommendations regarding the map, the subdivision, how it's laid out, what it looks like. So,
And that meeting will be noticed in the newspaper.
What time is that?
And circulated. The Planning Commission starts at 6 p.m.
in this room.
in this room.
So 6 p.m. the 24th in this room. For anybody, the thousands watching on the internet and you folks be in this room on the 24th at 6. And then, as I know we've already had the discussion, we also are planning a similar meeting, but more generalized on Thermalito and the potential annexation of Thermalito, and that's on the 22nd. And at this, 6 p.m., I believe. So, and it's going to be in this location as well. Yes, sir.
I have another question.
Sure.
So this two parcels, or this one area?
Mm-hmm.
With the homes,
That is correct.
so you'll have a pocket, city of Oroville, and Toledo surrounding.
That is also correct. And that's typically,
That's actually not correct,
okay?
because the city of Orville already is on.
I stand corrected. I knew it was directly adjacent to the city.
Technically both right. But no, sir.
Yes.
You see this map there? See that red line? Everything to the left of the red line is already within the city limits. Everything to the right of the red line is outside of the city limits in Thermalito.
Again, feel free to get a hold of anybody up here. We have your contact information. We'll try and send out a note letting you know how to get a hold of Wes, since he will also run the Planning Commission meeting. And again, feel free to send in any comments. We'd appreciate them. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for coming. And we'll see some of you on the 24th.
Oh, you'll see me.
Really? I hadn't gathered.